Dad is a genius.
Okay.
They couldn't figure out how to get the fan to cut off on the microwave. And you know who figured it out?
Cookie.
I did.
Hey.
We're live.
I don't know about live, but we are live.
We are live. Well,
We're live. Well,
the camera is on and the red dot is blinking. So we're talking about.
we're just conversating.
We're conversing about.
Not conversating. So.
Not conversating.
Are we just conversating?
We conversating.
Nah, I mean, what we're trying to do is we want this to kind of be as organic as possible because
Just having
we
a conversation
talk a lot.
about it.
Like we literally sit down and we just have these conversations. It may make sense, it may not, and so we're trying to share that moment with you guys.
So the conversation about haters. First of all, haters is a overused term.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
Everybody got a hater.
So let me just talk about haters. First thing I want to say about haters is not everybody's a hater.
No.
So just because somebody has negative feedback for you doesn't mean they're a hater. We get a lot of people who say things negatively or critically, and sometimes it's hard to tell between somebody who's hating or who's just giving feedback.
Who's trying to help?
Who's trying to help.
You saw that? You like that?
And you know, this can be a really deep topic. So I'm gonna start the dialogue about my opinions about haters. I don't take every negative comment as hate.
I know.
Sometimes it's feedback that you need to hear. Now, whether it's that person's place to give that feedback, what do you think about that? Because sometimes people are really saying something out of the kindness of their heart. But with what I do, I coach, which means people hire me to give them feedback. I guess my thing is like, I don't think you should ever give people feedback unless they ask for it. But at the same time, I value some of the negative feedback that I've received from people because it's helped me. And I think sometimes people give feedback, even though it may come across as negative, it comes from a good place. They really do want to help.
I've taken some negative things that people have said, even though they're being straight up, you just being disrespectful, you're just being rude.
Right.
I've taken that and I've learned from that.
Right.
So I try to take it as I can. And you got to be able to determine, even if it's not coming from a negative place, do you change something about you or something that you're doing over that feedback?
Right. Everybody wants to always jump up and say, "Oh, you hating on me. You such and such is hating on me." And the reality is, a lot of times, that's not really true. It's just that you said something that was potentially polarizing or off-putting to other people, and somebody came in trying to be helpful in the wrong way, and then they came off as a hater. Sometimes, when you get to a certain level, and this comes from a man, Grant Cardone. Everybody loves you when you're not doing nothing. Right? Right? So he says you want to aspire to get a certain amount of real haters. Which basically means that if you're posting and YouTube, for those of you guys who have businesses, you're posting on YouTube or you're singing or doing whatever you're on video, if you don't have once you get to a certain level, it's inevitable. Because, and this is, the theory is basically you're going into a cold market. People don't know you. They're going to be more critical. Are haters a natural progression? Is it a positive at some point that you've arrived?
Arrived, that's a big word. But I don't think it's just online. I think that's with anything. I think that happens in families.
Yes.
I think nobody cares when you're not doing anything.
That's true.
When you don't have nothing going on, you ain't got nothing, nobody cares. But once things start moving positively in your life, then I don't know if I want to classify them as haters. You have more people who have opinions about what you're doing.
Well, we're gonna use the word. We're gonna use the word haters.
Oh, we're gonna use haters.
We're gonna say haters. We ain't gonna skate. We ain't gonna.
Not haters. We're gonna use haters.
Haters.
Okay.
Not all of y'all are haters, but some of y'all are haters.
Okay.
So there is obviously some truth to when you ascend to a certain level, there's a competitive nature that comes around your peers, I think, with your peers. But then also, I think what he's talking about is that as you get into a cold world of people who don't know you, then your hater number kind of increases. And with what you've done, I mean, you have a pretty good following on YouTube.
So why is that? So why is it that when you get introduced to new people and you kind of hit that, as he puts it, cold world or cold market, however you want to say it, people appear to be
I think they become desensitized. It's like Beyonce. Like, nobody really, when they say things...
Is it a how dare you type of thing? Like, who are you?
I think they become desensitized, though. I think they become desensitized to the sense that when somebody has reached a certain level online or a certain celebrity status, they don't associate you, like, they'll say horrible things about Beyonce. I'm not saying, you my Beyonce, man. But they will say evil, horrible things about this woman, and they've almost dehumanized her as like she's not gonna read this or she's not gonna be affected by this. This is just me talking on this entity who is Beyonce. So when you get to that level, you actually separate and you push people away that ain't gonna mess with you, and you attract the people that will love you, right? So the more polarizing you are, the more haters you're gonna get, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Unfortunately, once you start getting the negative noise, that's the noise you're going to listen to more.
That's the point that we were going to talk about. That was the last point. I can't remember why they said, but they said that our brains are wired to focus on negative feedback, right? Like, if we think back, the example they gave is like when you think back to grade school or when you were in school, and within 30 minutes, you could probably remember you could remember vividly negative things that were said to you, right? But 100,000 people could have said positive things to you and you don't remember any of them, right? We don't remember. People could come to us and say, oh, you're beautiful, right?
All day long.
All day long. But the one person that said you was ugly in high school, you remember Jimmy? He said you was ugly. You remember Jimmy. You remember where you were standing when he said it, right?
That's crazy. Never even thought about that.
Sometimes we're waiting for confirmation of what we believe about ourselves. Like, if we feel that we're ugly, and 100 people saying you beauty, you pretty, you pretty, you handsome, you handsome, you handsome, that one person that comes along and says you ugly and confirms our deepest fear and our deepest, what we thought we kept a secret from the rest of the world, that we internalize that, and that becomes our reality versus the thousands and thousands of people that said that you're amazing. So we didn't do this video to necessarily give advice, but I think it's something that we need to talk about because the hate, that energy is easy to absorb. We're wired to absorb it. So if you don't put yourself in an environment to where you're sucking up positivity and you're around positive people that motivate you and that drive you 24/7. I think that's been our new thing lately, is like 24/7. Like, while we sleep, when we get up in the morning, when we get in the car. Like, it don't matter where we are. We have to, make sure that we're constantly feeding ourselves positive thoughts.
I can't control what this person say, that person say, what you say. I can't control what you say. But what I can control is what I let affect me. There's going to always be haters. There's going to always be naysayers. There's going to always be people telling you not to do something. You shouldn't be doing it. That ain't for you.
What do they say? Nobody can make you feel any kind of way without your permission. They have to have your permission to make you feel a certain kind of way. So you just have to decide who you're going to be. You have to be happy in who you are and deliver your message and make it happen. Do what you do.
Oh, yeah.
So let us know what you guys, any questions, comments. What do you guys think about the topic? Would you like to see more videos like this? I don't know. Maybe. All right, see you guys later. Peace.